Hey, you guys, this is a much needed conversation. This is your girl, Anita Dean. Thank you for tuning in again. All my ladies, we've been the topic of discussion as of late. So it's time to talk about it. 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 um, so as you got, I don't, well, you guys don't know, but I watch podcasts myself. Um, and blogs, what have you. And we women seems to be the topic of topic of discussion. Um, the the one I watched last night, the guy was basically saying the podcast was basically saying that when it's women's fault that men are not dating them, and he did get some examples of what he was talking about: too many tattoos, having a body count over 10, our behavior, not being able to make decisions, not letting the men lead and we follow. Now, of course, I agree with some of those things, but not all. Um, because guys, I'm sorry, but some of these guys out here, they don't know how to lead. You can't expect, um, hey,
Hello.
hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I am good. Well, I was just recapping everybody on the podcast I was watching where we women were yet again the topic of discussion. And they were basically talking about that it's our well basically the topic was we women were the reason why guys are not dating us. And some of the examples was that we too many tattoos, hair and makeup, not letting the guy lead in the house and we follow, body count over 10, too many baby daddies, too many kids, etc. Um, Now, of course, I agree with some of those things, of course, but not all. Because my attitude is kind of like, okay, first of all, some of these guys don't know how to lead. You know what I mean? If you're, if, and then he pointed out too that girls they drink heavy and they out in the club, but it's like when you go to the club nowadays, especially right now, you see guys there too. They spend just as much money and drink just as much. You know what I mean? And I don't think doing what I do on every weekend is a husband I want to leave the house per se. You know what I mean? So it's like you got if we're not showing you guys that we are wifey material, you have to be able to show us that you're husband material. You know what I mean? We don't want just anybody leaving the house. And then it was pointed out that we are attracted to the wrong man. And there's some truth to that, but it's not always true. You know what I mean? Because I
Hmm.
some guys are good actors. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna use the Tyler Perry's movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Uh, they've been married in that movie for 18 years, and he decided that he wanted to sleep and date somebody else, and we see how that turned out. You know what I mean? And my thing is
Okay.
this: he was a good actor for 18 years. Now, there's people that's been married 20, 30 years and getting the divorce because of that very reason. So that means they put up a good game for that long only to throw it in the trash. And these are the guys that we don't want leading the house. It's like why would you lead your house for 30 years only to burn it to the ground?
Well, I'm say this. By the way, my name is Chris. For everyone out there, um, I'ma say this. I mean, it's not one sided. It's not like the men do this and the men do that and the women do this and the women do that, because that's what's causing what's going on today. Um, I'm definitely gonna uh, iterate that basically is both parties' fault.
Right.
Now, piggybacking off of what you said, there are some men that don't know how to lead, and there are some women who don't know how to follow. So
Right.
it's half and half. Once we get over that threshold, then it will become more peaceful and everyone will get what they want. Now, starting from, I'm gonna say the man's point of view because I'm a male, of course. Um, as far as those things that you iterated on was basically tattoos and all of this other stuff. Yeah, is non-attractive to some men, and the reason why I say some men is because some men causes those things. They cause the things as far as to put out what attraction happens. Like, I mean, some men like, okay, man, look at her backside, this and this, and everything else. Oh, it's fat and blah blah blah. So then you have the woman who now get injected with that load of confidence, like she got a fat butt. Then she talked to some of her fellow women friends, and they like, girl, man, my man said I got a big butt and this and that and everything else. So now her friends feel like that they are in competition with her. So now they get big butts, but it's not attractive to some men. Because not every man is attracted to big butts, makeup, club, everything else. So I'm just speaking from a man's point of view.
And
So
and
it all depends on who, where, and what type of man that you are trying to attract.
yeah, that's true. And I like how you said so, I like how you said that was gonna be my next point that some men are responsible for what women do because like I know a lot of girls that
Oh,
got
absolutely.
everything that got tattoo stuff, the whole nine that they talk about. But the confusion is too is those women that they talk about, they claim they don't want, they're married, they're settled down. And those women that they do want, 'cause like one guy said he wanted somebody that with a one body count or a virgin. Those women are still single right now. The ones that y'all don't want, those are the ones that are in relationships right now and that's married and you know what I mean? Meanwhile, the girl that you claim that you want that's wifey material is still walking around single and doing everything by herself. You know what I mean? That's why I said, and like you said, like some men are responsible for what women do because they speak so highly of it when you are with them. Because like there's some women that will try to let you lead and stuff, and that she will do something because she feel like it's what you want because you done told her that on numerous occasions. Then when she finally get it, of course she's gonna be attracted to not unattracted to somebody else because but the damage is done already. You know what I mean? Of
I
course, if I'm
mean, to an extent, I'm gonna say that I agree with you 1,000%, but there's also a caveat to it. Basically, as far as, yeah, no matter what, as far as the men are leading, and if they are leading that they want somebody who got a bad body or somebody who's a hustler, somebody who does adult things and pleases them in adult ways, then that's just how is led, and that's the way that women are. It's like their nature is wired that way. Even with some of the most confident women out here, some of the most independent women, the boss ladies and everything else. I mean, it's being led by men. And the reason why, and I'm not trying to say that men are the center of the world because they're not, but quite naturally, men do lead and women do follow. Let me give you a small example of that before you elaborate on that. Okay, in a realization world that we are in right now, a lot of males take boss roles. And nowadays, women want the boss role. Some of them have the boss role. So that was due to the influence of men being bosses, which basically is to a point of power, control, and that's what it is. It's a power struggle because I know women don't want to hear this, but I advocate for both sides, men and women.
Right.
Women have a silent competitive mindset due to they're a little more emotional than men. And if you want to elaborate on that, we can, as far as the chemical imbalance that some of our men portray to make it to where women don't want these men who are chemically imbalanced, which men are more emotional. They do stuff out of emotion, and it's a simple balance. And I'm gonna break that down real quick, and then I'm gonna pass it back to you. Basically, it's true. Not saying that a lot of women are not logical because women are logical, but a percentage of it, 90% of women are going to go emotional first before logical. Just like 90% of men go logical before emotional. And it can become a slight uphill battle when the woman brings the emotions to the table and the man is bringing logic because it's a way that you can balance it. But if you don't balance it right, it'll be World War III. But
Right.
if you balance it right, it would definitely work out and be beneficial for both parties, both male and female.
Right. And that's what I was one thing I got from that podcast was they had women present when they was talking like this. Um, and
Mm,
it kind of shocked me because like everything the list that I just named, they had every woman that was that the list required, you know. So they had a woman there with tattoos on her. I think just about all of them had makeup on or what have you. And they were basically going down the line of why and they even did an exercise. They basically told the women to go around the table and point out the girl that was attractive and least attractive. Now it took them 17 minutes to make a decision because the women they all felt like they didn't want to do that because it was they felt like it was being mean to the two girls that they chose. You know what I
mm,
mean? And of course, the guys were just like, "It's no big deal. There's no consequences to it. Just do it." And he was like, "This is the perfect example of why women can't make decisions because it's taking y'all this long to make a decision where y'all do in private anyway. You know, when you talk to your girlfriend, you say, 'Oh, this bitch this and this bitch doing that.' You know what I mean? But in public, you've been put on the spot and you can't even make a decision like you don't know the answer. You know what I mean? And like I said, I agree with that. I agree with that to a certain step. But then, looking at it from a women's parents, well, I think guys like that they claim they leaders and they actually like arguing with women, and that's not leading them in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? You can't from the gate, um, jeopardize that relationship that you want. You know what I'm saying? That was not great leadership. I didn't see no type of leadership from either one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? They were just doing it, just to prove a point. And it's like, I mean, what did you get out of that? Because y'all end up arguing the rest of the podcast and nobody is leading nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You guys are not leading them in the right direction, and you left them angry, and they're gonna continue. They're gonna lead that podcast, continue to doing what they want. They want to do because you know what I'm saying? You messed it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, and I think some guys like that enjoy doing stuff like that, belittling women like that, because they felt like, they on top of the world. It's like, yeah, see what happened? See, we told y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that really how you teach someone or how you lead someone? You know what I mean?
No, as far as that podcast, and I mean, I had my fair share of dosage of the same podcast that you actually are referring to. Basically, that podcast come from a point of, I want to say, Neanderthalism, and what I mean by Neanderthalism is basically men want to do what they want, how they want, when they want, where they want, and the women just gotta sit back like they just supposed to just say okay and this is okay and that is okay. No,
Right.
that is not how you supposed to balance it. Now, don't get me wrong. They're wrong in that area, but also you have to look at excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather, people. But you have to look at it like this. I see both points. If basi- basically a lot of those women on there are young, um,
Right.
a lot of them are inexperienced. They don't have a maturity about them, so they're able to hit on logical points to manipulate the situation, and that's what they do versus putting out choices.
And that.
People,
I'm sorry. Go
well,
ahead.
let me go. But people, they pretty much want to have choices. You have to give, whether if it's a man or a woman, choices. Like, okay, for example, okay, with the man supposed to be leading, the
Right.
woman has the choice to follow. They don't have to follow,
Right.
but they
Right.
follow who are beneficial to what their preference is. Whether if they want a good man that works hard, or whether they want a dude in the street on sitting on 24s in a nice car, or he got a Lambo truck. If that hits the woman the right way, then that's who she wants to lead her,
Right.
because he exudes that confidence and that strength in that area. But
Right.
there are also some women that don't go for that. So basically, it depends on the preference of the woman of what she wants to follow. She don't have to automatically follow any and every man that walks this earth.
And I'm glad you
So
pointed that out because I think there's both sides too. It depends on the person and what they want at that exact time. Because just because you're Mr. Right and consider yourself Mr. Right, that don't mean that the right person you gonna meet the right person right offhand. And there was a black lady on the podcast that made this point. She was like, "Why would you want somebody that's like 18? 'Cause like you said, the women are young. You know what I mean? It was maybe two that were older, a little older or what have you. But an 18-year-old is not going to know how to lead because they still learning. They still in school. They still trying to figure out life, what they want to do with life. Now, don't get me wrong. Some teenagers are already, established and got their own house, which is cool, which is good. It's good to start that young anyway. But if you are Mr. Right and you want to lead, they probably not going to want to be in that position yet because They don't know, most of them haven't been in a relationship yet. They've been in what you call one night stands and stuff like that. But actual relationship, trying to settle down at 18, trying to settle down at 19, that's not on the agenda yet. You know what I mean? They trying to live life first and see what life, you know what I mean? So you don't want to lead somebody
Excuse me.
that's a
But
teenager still. You know what I mean? Compared to somebody, because like they belittling the women that already have kids and stuff, but it's like those type of women, they've been in a relationship, they know what they want, they know, what man they want to lead, especially when they have kids. Because if you're not leading the woman right, you dang sure ain't gonna lead the kids right. So it's a different perspective when it comes to that. You know what I mean? You can't just have anybody would tell you that you're not supposed to have anybody around your kids. The same thing with, have you can't just have anybody leading the house. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you fell on your face, so many times, you're gonna know why you fell on your face, and you don't want it to happen again. So if you don't want it to happen again, of course, is you have to use caution next time around. Somebody that hasn't been through caution, they not gonna know at all. They're
let's
not. They're
see.
not gonna know.
Let's see. Here's the caveat to all of what you just said. Now, let me take you back a little further, and then I gotta head on out. Sorry it's so short, but I'm hoping that I made a good show with you because I'm actually a hardworking man,
Right.
and
Right.
I'm always working. But I'm glad to be on your show, and I'm glad to verse the point, and I'm hoping that you will get the views that you definitely need because this is a good topic to talk about also.
Right.
So I'm hoping that everybody shares and likes her video once
I
they see
appreciate
it.
that.
Okay, the caveat is this, and then I'm gonna leave you with this, and I'm gonna leave the males and the females with this.
Okay.
The caveat is in the earlier stages, it's like even when you get up to the age of when you notice male friends, like you 5, 6 years old, and it's like you see this little boy that you like, or whatever the case may be. He quiet, he shy, or you could be a little girl that like loud boys because they make you feel secure. So it starts early is when you develop.
Right.
As
Right.
you grow and gain experience, then that's
Right.
when your selection becomes a little broader.
Right.
Now, like I say, I'm not an advocate for men or women. I'm an advocate for balance. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this to add to the caveat. Okay, just like women get persuaded, and what I mean by persuaded is, yeah, they get tell their fairy tale like, oh, we're gonna get a house, we're gonna have kids, and we're just gonna live the best life ever, and then all of a sudden the man
Right.
don't do
It
that.
don't it don't follow through with it.
So so that's one of them. Now let's flip it. You meet this woman and she say, "Oh, I could cook it clean, and I'm gonna have your babies and everything else, and just making you feel good as a man, like you feel needed, everything, and she's pretty much being what you want, including the submissive part of it and everything else. All of a sudden, a light switch flips. It's like she don't want to show you that no more, and you're still continuing to do the things that you do as a boyfriend, husband, or whatever the case may be, whether if it's having good conversation, Netflix and chill, going out to eat, whatever your preference is. She stopped doing that, or she start being smart at the mouth, or she start putting you on pins and needles, which a lot of women put men on pins and needles. They put, I'm gonna say, an expectation. Some of it is realistic, and some of it is unrealistic. But it all depends on preferences.
Right.
And I'm gonna leave everyone with this, and then I gotta get ready to go. Where you're out now, they want to say dating pool. The dating pool is not dead. Chivalry is not dead.
Right.
The dating pool.
Right.
You have to know your preferences, not knowing what you want,
Right.
because you
That's a
can
different.
want what you want.
Right.
You have to know your preferences, and you have to hold your preferences. And that starts within. And we had a couple conversations before the show. You have to hold yourself accountable. A lot of women don't do that, which is true. You have to hold yourself accountable for everything that you do. And I'm not just going to go deep dive into women are not holding themselves accountable, because the podcast show they blasted.
Yeah.
But see, on the opposite side, some men don't hold themselves accountable. They set in their ways, and you can't tell them nothing, and they are not wrong. So it goes both ways.
Right.
So
And
the key to it is knowing your preferences and holding yourself accountable so you can see your preferences
right.
through the person. So in the earlier stages, you'll know what you want and when you want and how you want it, and if it's going to not work out. Because a lot of people, they do it to say, "Oh, this is gonna work out." No, you have to balance it. And what I mean by balance it is that, say for instance, you talk loud.
Right.
You want a man who talk loud because you talk loud, but when he talk loud to you, it seems like he's yelling at you.
Right.
And it looked like he's being smart mouthed because he's being loud, but this
Right.
is your preference that you chose.
Right. That's a good point.
Just
Yep.
like even with a man want a lady that's a go getter, a hustler, and this and that, because he won. They gonna make money together and this and this. That's their preference. But when that woman out hustle him or basically getting the attention,
More money.
this
Yep.
is this is what preference that you chose.
Yep. You gotta be
So
that's
you
the same because of
so
what
so
you asked for.
right.
Like you gotta make sure you actually want and you not just talking because some people realize they just talk because when they
E-
actually in the situation. So
Exactly. So, all in all, and I'm ending with this, and I have to get ready to go. Don't lie to yourself. Be true to yourself. What should be true to yourself? Be firm in yourself. Not being self-centered, but being true to yourself is what gonna exude your energy and what you want.
mm,
And once it exude the energy of what you want, you'll be able to tell and see if this person gonna be able to balance out, not what you want. Because a lot of people get in trouble of what you want. Like, okay, these men out here, they got $1,000 car. You want a man that makes six figures. You want a man that got a $100,000 car. But at the same time, you don't know what else come with it. That's a
right,
want.
right, right. Not
But
a need a want.
if but if your preferences and if you're basically, like I say, you holding yourself accountable, knowing your preferences, sticking with your preferences, being true to yourself, you're gonna automatically pick up, yeah, this man, he got $100,000 car, he makes six figures and whatever the case may be. But do I actually want to deal with what comes with it? Because a lot of those men, they do whatever they want, how they want, when they want. And if you
Exactly.
want to go through that, that's what you're going to get. and
Right.
they're gonna tell you, and they're gonna want you to submit while they're with someone else. And if you want to do another show on that topic, we can.
Okay.
We could dive deep into that. But I mean, this high value man, quote unquote, that's going
Right.
on right now
Right.
is screwed up. It's very screwed up because they're putting it hard on men like me, who works, want a simple life, no drama, no nothing, and basically learning to build and weather the storm with a significant other. So basically, there's a bond that's always rememberable. And what I
And
mean by that is, y'all both go through the storm and get wet with the umbrella. Y'all gonna remember the accomplishments that y'all got through together.
right.
And y'all are
It
gonna
worked.
honor and cherish what you've been through together versus you come to somebody who's already established, they gonna look down on you like, why you ain't on my level?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, like I say, main point of it is you have to be true to yourself. You got to hold yourself accountable, and you got to know your preferences because once get you in trouble. And I'm gonna
Yes,
leave
it
it
is
at
all the
that.
time.
And I mean, I was about to say if it's anything else that pretty much because yeah, I got to get ready to get out of here. But it was
Oh,
nice to talk to everyone, and like I say, if she have another show, I mean, I'll come back on and
yeah,
whatever
we just
topic
gotta
that she
have you
have,
back.
I'll,
So
I'll
thank you
break
for sharing
down.
that knowledge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I say, I'm an advocate for both. So
Right. And like you said, it's about balance. So I'm glad you joined and thank you for sharing your insight on the male side and female. But yeah,
okay,
I absolutely agree with what you said. So yeah, that was the biggest point that some of us women was trying to make when you know what I mean. And a lot of guys
absolutely,
don't share that, especially when they go into talking about women. So I appreciate your insights.
absolutely. All righty. Well, thank you for having me on, and I'm gonna head on out and go to work. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you.
All righty.
You have a good night.
You too.
Okay, guys, I'm glad that he was able to join us on that topic, and I'm gonna leave you guys with this because first of all, I'm a '90s baby, and I grew up in the '90s, and the one thing I saw when it came to relationships with mom, dad, and their friends, it wasn't about trying to figure out puzzles in people's head and trying to figure out who they are. They were more about enjoying each other's company. They were spending time with each other as friends, which led to a relationship. And I think a lot of people forgot that. And he said dating is not dead, but to most people it is because no one's really dating anymore. And it seems like some of these guys out here, all they doing it, they wasting their time talking about women instead of trying to help women. And like he said, most guys put that in women's heads, so when they actually do it, now they are saying, "Oh, she don't, she's not attractive. She did, she that." You guys have to show what leaders is because you're not leading. Talking down about somebody is not leading them at all. How about show me the type of man you are and I can follow because I need to make sure you know how to follow. Because like he said, some of these guys do not know how to follow at all. Okay, so and you can't call yourself a leader if you out doing what I'm doing. Y'all talking about tattoos and all this. Y'all have tattoos. Y'all drink. Y'all hang out. You got friends that nobody really likes. You got you know what I mean. You cannot fault somebody for doing the same thing you do. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So and y'all have to talk about something other than women all the time because we women are not responsible for everything y'all do. Okay, we have baggage because y'all talking about we got too many baby daddy and stuff. It's not our fault that we have kids by somebody that we thought we want to spend around. Cause like when we in a relationship with you, we in it for life. We thinking about the long haul. You know what I mean? So when y'all fuck that plan up and leave us with all the end result, which sometimes end with kids, You know what I mean? We have no choice but to deal with it. Of course, we're going to be unattracted to somebody else, the man that we actually want, because you left us with nothing but problems and heartache. You know what I mean? And then y'all turn around and say, "Oh, it's not right for us to be emotional and stuff like that." Of course, if you work just as hard as we do and be a single parent on top of it, your ass gonna be tired and emotional too. So that's all I'm just saying. It's like y'all act like this shit is easy when it's not. When you have a plan and that plan does not go into effect, of course shit is gonna be fucked up. And both physically and visually, like, and me, I'm a single parent myself, so I know I'm speaking on this. I have two. I not only have two kids, but I have two kids with special needs, and that's a job within itself, if not a little harder. You know what I mean? For anybody that has special needs, I did a video on that too. But that's just go to show you, like, I'm left. I don't have nobody to call if I need help. I can drop dead right now. Don't nobody give a fuck about me but my two kids. So you can't sit there and turn around and say, "Oh, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing that." No, it's like you doing a lot wrong, because the only man that can lead me, to the right, to the right things all the time, constantly, every day, is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ Himself. That's it. That's who we call on and pray to and talk to each and every day, because especially when shit like this hits the fan, because obviously we didn't get it in the person that we loved and trust. So of course you're gonna be a different person when you gave all your trust to, only for them to break it. And it goes beyond love. Trust and loyalty is very, very, very important. And when that's broken, you're not gonna be the same. You're just not. I mean, some of these guys need to stop acting like they so perfect and they put out a higher on the pedestal. Okay, you make money and you're looking for a girl. Good for you. We all looking for something. Are we not? Just saying, do you and I'm gonna do me. Simple as that. I mean, y'all made it seem cool. Do me. Let me do. I'm gonna do me. I don't care about her. Well, just saying. Until next show, you guys, love each other, love yourself more. You know what I mean? And just think about what we said, like and subscribe. And let me know what y'all think too. Okay. Let me know what y'all think too on this, because all hands on deck on this subject, because we could be right and we could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think and what y'all see and what's wrong, because there's a lot of things that's wrong that is not being talked about or said and not being part to the front board. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know.